All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. Today, we are putting some incredibly bold claims from an AI tool called Lovable to the ultimate test. The promise here is absolutely massive, building a full React app in mere minutes. But we have to ask, can it actually deliver a usable code base, or is this just another flashy gimmick? We're going to find out by analyzing a rigorous technical stress test of the platform. To really grasp the value of a tool like this, we first have to look at the traditional development timeline. Think about it. Even for a highly skilled full-stack engineer, setting up a custom single-page application from scratch is going to eat up anywhere from 1 to 3 days. And that is literally just to get the foundational structure right.
Right? We're talking about that tedious, repetitive reality. You know the drill. Setting up pages, configuring the routing between those pages, getting your styling framework dialed in, and yes, even Googling how to perfectly center a div for the 100th time. It's the essential groundwork that just has to happen before you can even think about building the unique, cool features of your app. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with the developer time problem, then enter Lovable AI. After that, we've got test 1 with a habit tracker, test 2 pushing the limits with a portfolio via a PRD, a deep dive into code quality and integrations, and finally, the final verdict. Starting off with section 1, the developer time problem, or as it's often called, the boilerplate bottleneck. As the source material points out, developers waste a massive amount of time on the initial structural setup. It's exactly that, a bottleneck. Instead of writing the core logic that actually makes an application unique, engineers spend hours configuring basic routing for about and contact pages, setting up custom layouts, and fighting with the same repetitive UI bugs. It's necessary work for sure, but it's not exactly the best use of a high-level engineer's brainpower. Which brings us to section 2. Enter Lovable AI and its instant UI promise. Lovable AI promises to completely bypass this bottleneck by generating fully functioning boilerplates from simple conversational prompts. And what's really cool is that out of the box, it employs a modern, highly capable tech stack. It's not just spitting out generic, messy HTML. It generates your initial code using React.js, bundles it with Vite for incredible speed, styles it with Tailwind CSS, and uses ShadCN for clean, accessible UI components. Literally, this is the exact same stack many top-tier developers would choose themselves. Moving to section 3, test 1, the habit tracker. Let's see how it handles pre-built prompts. To see if this actually holds up in practice, the source documents a test using one of Lovable's pre-built prompts to create a minimal daily habit tracking app. Now, there's a fascinating difference in approach here. If you just type a standard prompt like "make me a habit tracker," the AI actually gives pretty great results right out of the gate. But the real magic unlocks when we contrast that basic prompt with an advanced product requirements document, or PRD. We're going to dive into that advanced approach in our second test, but first, let's see how this basic habit tracker turned out. Honestly, the results of the first test were highly impressive. Lovable generated a clickable front end with fully functional tabs for a calendar and insights. And looking under the hood, it actually utilized React's Context API for state management, which means it genuinely understood how to handle data flowing across the app. It produced clean TypeScript code with defined interfaces, and even threw in some really smooth CSS microanimations. Now, it did hit a minor processing timeout error during generation, showing it can occasionally stumble, but it still managed to bounce back and render a great preview. Let's step it up in section 4, test 2, a portfolio built via PRD, pushing the limits with ChatGPT. We really needed to push the tool's absolute limits by feeding it a professional-grade product requirements document instead of just a casual sentence. So for this advanced test, the developer asked ChatGPT to write a comprehensive PRD for a personal portfolio website. This document specified an orange and black theme, mandated dark mode, and outlined the exact pages and features needed. Then the developer handed that precise blueprint straight over to Lovable AI to see if it could follow strict, complex instructions. The results here were, frankly, stunningly accurate to the PRD. The AI correctly implemented the requested orange gradient accents and built a fully functional search bar using React State. The whole site was completely mobile responsive right out of the box. It even caught an optional requirement for YouTube video timestamps and seamlessly built those in. But here's the real kicker. When the developer noticed the top navigation bar wasn't highlighting the active page, they just asked the AI to fix it. And incredibly, the AI immediately imported React's useLocation hook to solve it right on the fly. All right, section 5, code quality and integrations. It's time to look under the hood. Sure, visually it looks fantastic on the surface, but any serious engineer is going to ask, what does the exported codebase actually look like? Is it a tangled mess? This is where the critical analysis really shines. While the TypeScript was generally very clean and properly typed, developer Yehia Tech pointed out a pretty significant technical flaw in their analysis. Lovable AI actually imports the entirety of the Shadcyan component library into your project, not just the specific components it's actively using. As noted, this leads to massive code bloat. You are literally filling your codebase with unnecessary files that you'll have to go in and manually clean up later. Now, when you are ready to export your project, Lovable makes it incredibly easy, but the source issue is an absolutely crucial security warning here. When you click Enable GitHub Sync, you must be extremely careful to select only the specific repositories you want the AI to access. Never, ever grant it access to all repositories, because that gives the AI read access to all your private code. Once safely connected, though, you can transfer your code and seamlessly edit your new codebase right in your browser using github.dev, which is super convenient. And this tool isn't just a basic code generator. It actually offers one-click deployments to a free domain, so you can share your prototype instantly. It also features seamless backend integrations with Supabase, which allows you to turn your static frontend into a dynamic, full-stack application. Plus, if you want to test the waters, they give you 5 free daily prompt credits to experiment with. The paid tiers, of course, unlock custom domains and significantly higher generation limits. Finally, Section 6, the final verdict, the truth about AI code generation. Let's pull all these test results together, the impressive speed, the styling, but also those code bloat issues to get our final verdict on whether this tool is actually worth your time. Ultimately, the takeaway is crystal clear. Lovable AI is an incredible accelerator. It's essentially a super-powered boilerplate generator that will save you days of tedious setup when you're building a minimum viable product. However, it is absolutely not an engineer replacement. The generated code still absolutely requires a knowledgeable developer to come in, fine-tune that bloat, secure the integrations, and build out the complex backend logic to actually make it scale. So, given the massive time savings compared to writing custom routing and styling entirely from scratch, it's kind of hard to ignore, right? You really have to ask yourself, how are AI-driven boilerplate generators like this going to fit into your own development workflow moving forward? Will you embrace the speed for your next MVP or stick to crafting every single line by hand?